Hey folks, sorry about that. If you're just joining me, or if you've forgotten the last couple of seconds, welcome to our student showcase here at Make School. I'm really excited to introduce 6 different students and 4 different projects today that were all achieved during their time here at Make School. So I'll start off with, let's see, Samuel. Samuel's first. You ready, Sam?
Hey everyone.
All right, we worked it out. Nice. This is hard to use.
Right?
All right, Sam, can you tell us a little bit about your project and then take us through it?
Um, as a little disclaimer, I actually had a little experience in mobile development, primarily in Swift for coming to Make School. So I was kind of able to do a lot of projects, which I'm really proud of ever since coming to Make School. And a lot of them actually was this app called Snail Mail, which takes a picture, which is like, I don't know if you guys can see, but um, it takes a picture of any mails or packages, or like yeah, it takes a picture of any mail and packages, and it will actually send you a Slack message saying, "Hey, you have a mail downstairs. Hey, you got a package in this address." And actually, I built this in a week during one of the intensive, which was pretty crazy. One week, I was able to make a pretty legit app, and of course, one all-nighter, which I don't recommend. And I'm not sure how I can demo this. But yeah, as you guys could see, maybe I can show it like this. I'll take a picture of a. This is really hard. Okay. Uh, where's the click button? Okay. Oh my goodness. I hope it's in range. Okay, so yeah, is this right there? It found my name, and if you click on send, it said mail sent. It will say mail sent because I'm actually a student in Make School, and I should be getting a Slack message shortly saying that, hey, I got a mail in 864 Pavonia because that's where I currently live, and that's where the package is addressed to. So that's like,
Sam,
yeah.
can you show us the Slack message by sharing your screen when you get it?
How do
That
I
would be awesome.
how do I do that actually?
Scroll over your face and then the toggle controls come up. And then you click like the thing that looks like a laptop with an arrow in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
I want to see your thing work, dude.
Okay. Over to, do you guys see it or?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
You're good, man. You're good.
So okay, let's do this. Let's do this again. Then maybe I can do it using QuickTime Player and show what my phone looks like as well.
Yeah, man. You got a little time.
All right. File new screen recording. All right, there you go. And from here, I should be able to see my phone. Record, no. No. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I cannot get my QuickTime working. Screen. Let's try again.
If you
If
you unshare and then share again, you can choose to share just a specific app. Oh my gosh, you got it. Amazing.
Share. Awesome.
Sweet save, dude. Go for
it. All right, so this is my mail right here. Please, no one send me any spam mails or something. So if I take a picture of this, Here you go. It found my name, and if I click on send, it actually also gets shown here in the top right. And in Slack, hopefully this guy's backend is not down. Because I actually work on this with another junior who's in backend concentration. And where is this? Lost connection? I don't think so. And he did mostly on connecting, setting up the backend for me in Flask, which you guys will learn on backend web 1.1, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
you got it, man. Yeah, you'll learn that with me in Backend Web 1.1. So we really get to it really quick. You can make basically half of an iOS app. Am I right?
Yeah.
So you did all that work for you. So good projects take collaboration. Is that true?
Oh yeah, very true. Very. Oh, see right here, it got 3 snail mail. This is actually I tested it first, and I tried again with the same thing, and right there it says 7:48 was the time. Hold on. Let me try again. Actually, see if it actually gets updated. Because he did a little tweak where if oh, there you go. The snail mail thing went up once I took another picture of it. You guys don't believe me? Oh, not that one. Let's take another picture. Mail sent. And I did mostly on the iOS side and the setting up with text recognizer with Firebase, and basically sending a get request to or a post request to the backend, and hey, it went up again to the backend. So yeah, I will tell them that this time needs to update every time I send another mail. So yeah, that's one of the package. One of the apps that I made, and actually one of my proudest project as well is this thing called Strings Utility, which written in Go, taught by by your one and only MC Danny.
What up? What
Um,
up?
and I wrote it in order to have your iOS app, your Xcode project, support multiple languages that you want to support. Like for example, in a lot of in iOS development, if you want to um, support multiple languages, it's actually a pretty tedious task, especially if you have a lot of strings in your apps, which you can imagine it will exist a lot. And also, you don't want to just translate every strings. You want to translate strings that like for example URL you don't want ma wag ka ma wag ka maingay may ano ko. All right. Uh, sorry about that. And and you don't want to like translate certain strings like URLs, strings like dictionary keys and stuff. You just want to translate the strings that you want to that should be translatable, right? And that's where I decided, you know what, let me create this, where what it basically does is it takes all strings in all Swift files and it puts it into one file only called the constant on a constant file, Swift file. That way, all your strings is in one file. If you want to edit it, or like you can also avoid duplications. You can also get like different like auto completion in your own strings, and actually you will also use that in order to populate your localizable files, which is the file that Xcode project iOS apps use in order to support multiple languages. Like you can have in your code your app written in English, but it will support to it will also have when, for example, your iPhone is in Japanese language or whatever, you will have it on you will have it as Japanese. I don't know if my screen share stopped working, but this is basically my demo for it. Let me try to share screen again. So here it goes. Okay, so I believe I actually need to do a little setup with the Google Firebase. No, not Google. Google Translation API. Backend web. Do I have it here? No, it's actually in here. Localizable, oh, string utility. Okay, no. There's a file that I need to export first. Hopefully it's in here. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. And then go build. If I run this,
Way to
uh,
solve that error on screen, man. You're like really getting good at this.
oh yeah, definitely. Actually worked on this in our 2 week intensive, and that was like a lot of time and a lot of like practice for me to debug a lot of things that usually don't catch in the beginning. There's actually one quick error that I need to fix. I was testing this, and I actually need to put these strings first because I want to show you guys how
Right.
the app works before I do anything else. Oh, whoops.
Cool. You got about 60 seconds, Sam. See if you can do like a real quick demo here. I
Oh man,
totally believe in you.
I think I can do it.
I think you can do it, man.
All right, cool. So let's erase all these files. This is it's in Chinese. So if I could do a quick demo on this app, this is just an app that that has a button, and it just randomly selects its title as one of these buttons right here. So if this would start running, come on. Oh man, Xcode is really, really slow. All right, so anyways, if I run this app right now, let's start it again. It will actually, okay, so it makes sure that you have committed any changes. That way, if this project breaks your code, it will make, it wants to make sure that everything is, like you can convert back. So now, would you like Translator to remove all strings in a constant file? I'll say yes. Do you want localizable strings that can go in? Do you want all your basically this is asking, do you want to populate all your localizable strings files? And I'll say yes. And do you want to have a Google Cloud Translator set up? Do you want to have the Google Translation? And say yes. It's actually translating all these strings. There's all the strings that I found, and going back to our project, this should be populated if I'm not mistaken. Come on. Okay, that one is that language is supported. Chinese. Oh, okay, all right. That was not translated. Let's maybe try again. Um, it's not really working right now, but hold on, let's undo everything that changes I made. Maybe if I just run it one more time, this it will probably hopefully works. Constant. Oh, that's why I forgot to erase this too. Okay, so if I do this again, bear with me, guys. Okay, so let's say yes. All right, so as you guys can see, this has like strings, and our constant file right here is empty, and all our localizable file is empty except for English, which is fine for now. So if we're going back in here, we say yes, say yes, say yes. It starts translating things again and populating our Spanish, Philippines, and that's our Chinese right there. So if I run this app, I'll just run it on my phone. Whatever language that our phone is at the moment should be translated now. But as you guys can see, just this getting populated is like really hard task on its own. Can imagine if like you have a lot of strings and you have like a lot of localizable files. This will basically automate all those tasks for you. So hopefully I didn't go too much off the time, and I think that's it for my demo.
Nice work, Sam. Nice work. We'll give you some cyber snaps. We celebrate our projects and anything good here at Make School with snaps. This is a really good example of a project that Sam wrote because he saw a very distinct need for developers and people that work with developers to be able to translate stuff quickly and get it into their apps quickly. So he basically allowed for more automated releases or faster checking or more entering of strings. So that's pretty cool, Sam. Nice work. And you wrote it for my class, so I'm, biased. Next up, we have Angelina and Anthony, who are going to show us their project. Take it away. Awesome. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Welcome, folks.
Hello, hello.
Hey, you're not in my classes. I never get to see you.
I miss your classes.
Right. I miss you guys. Well, hey, can you demonstrate this thing you've made for us?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited.
So I'm going to share my screen, and today, it says that there's too many screens.
Too many.
You got this.
It says I need to ask the host to open a seat if I want to add another screen.
Hey, Anthony, I think we can mitigate this by just having you, oh no, wait, maybe because there's 3 people on the call. I have no idea. I don't know how to work this. I'm going to be real with you. I'm a programmer.
I promise this is a tech school.
I promise this is a tech school. We do have a live link to this website.
Oh, cool. Why don't you paste it in the chat? And I want to reassure you that I have a video in I have like a patent in video stuff. And I'm still like bad at being on live video. Like it's very different.
All right, just 1 second.
Looks like a possible solution in the Slack.
Amazing. Yes, you can totally remove me. I'm going to sign off so that you can demo your product.
All right, cool.
Sorry, Danny. Our presentation now. All right. So if I share my screen, I can get the application window. Be a bit of an echo for a second there. And I want to open our project, which we called Don't Mix That. So this project was done for one of our classes last term, which was SPD, which is a required course here at Make School. And for last term's SPD, we were put into groups, and we were able to make our own projects. And the requirements for those projects were incredibly broad. We were basically able to pick whatever we were personally interested in. So my group, which was Anthony and I, along with 2 other students, came up with Don't Mix That. The way we went about coming up with our idea was we all got in a Discord call and made a list of every idea we could think of. And among those items was a project called Getting Hit by a Car Simulator. It was an AR experience. Anthony, do you want to give some context for that one?
So everyone on the team always bags me for this idea, but I think it's a good idea. Basically, the concept is just to have your phone out. It's just an app or something, and whenever you're like walking like towards a crosswalk, then you can just see like a simulated version of yourself or just a character walk into the street and get hit by a car. Just see how far it gets before it gets hit by a car.
Everyone else here, Anthony? Seems frozen for me.
Oh no. Oh no. Can you guys still hear me? All right. And everyone can still see your screen.
Okay.
It looks like
All right. Well, I don't need Anthony's audio. It's fine.
I love it.
Screen shared. This is a good and functional website.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna keep going, assuming that Anthony We'll be able to pick up my end of the audio. So for the app, we threw out a bunch of ideas into a list, and near the end of that list was something we called Don't Mix That, which was originally supposed to be just a like utility app for figuring out what chemicals and household products shouldn't be mixed. I'm not sure if you've heard, but it's kind of a important knowledge that you shouldn't clean up pee with bleach because it can mix and create some toxic fumes. So that app seemed useful, but it was ultimately not especially exciting to us, so we moved on. And when we got near the end of the list, we ended up going back over what we'd already created and doing a bunch of just appending the trading card game at the end of each of the products we thought of. And so we ended up with Don't Mix That, the trading card game. And what we decided that would be a basic browser game where you could pick a character and have ingredients which you mix to like fight against an opponent by creating deadly mixes. What we ultimately landed on was what you're seeing here. It's definitely in a work in progress state right now. You might notice a lack of cards, which is in the title, and that is something that's definitely in progress. But if we choose a character, we have from left to right what we're calling Baby, Selena, Astra, and Sheffrey. And they are they're an alchemist, a mad scientist, a witch, and a chef. Does anyone want to put in chat which character we should pick? Anthony says Sheffrey.
I can't believe my fucking screen's frozen.
So give Heroku a second to start up. There we go. So we can go over to our ingredients list and open up a list of some basic ingredients that we have in here to test the base function of the game. And so if we start off with something obvious like salt and water, and we mix that, we get salt water. Easy enough. We can add it to our mix list, which keeps things in our local storage so we can then access them from the button at the bottom, see your mixes. So if anyone wants to shout out a couple more ingredients to mix, we've got the list here. We can see if we can make anything deadly. I realize I can't see the chat and the list at the same time, which is potentially problematic. But I'm at the advantage of knowing the mixes ahead of time, so I can tell you that bleach and vinegar, for example. I'm not thinking of the right one. I'm thinking of bleach and, well, we can try it. That's toxic chlorine gas. So if we add that to our mix list, we can check again. Local storage, it's got those along with some others that have already been mixed since they persist between sessions. And so this is all very MVP, minimum viable product, and it is definitely still a work in progress. For example, the next step for us is going to be translating those items into card objects. And you can see a prototype for the salt card here. We had the idea of making each of the items and ingredients specific to a certain character, like the salt would be for the chef, because that is a cooking ingredient. And so in order to complete a whole deck, you would need to trade with other players who are playing as different characters and eventually fill out your deck and be able to access some of the more complex mixtures. And then moving on from there, it could be multi-tiered mixtures. So salt water could then be mixed with something to make something else. Definitely a work in progress. And I look forward to working with Anthony and my other teammates going forward to make this a really fleshed out game. And I still can't hear Anthony, but if he wants to jump in here, I'll give him some silence for that.
Cool. I'm just gonna put in the chat. I'm talking about points because I know she can't hear me. So, in the future, we want things like points, and as she was mentioning before, there's going to be a sort of battle system, sort of like maybe Pokemon or something, where you can place down cards, and whenever you get a good mixture, you get a positive amount of points. When you're getting a positive amount of points, you can like just level up as well as increase your own like health, depending on what mixtures it is, while other combinations can make deadly just bad things that you don't want to mix together. And those types of combinations would either lower your points or damage the other player. And so we've thought a lot into the game of mechanics, and we've went through so many sketches. It was definitely a long month, but it was very fun to work with everyone and be able to do everything. I really enjoyed it. Some of the things that I had to do was I was in charge of backend, and I was also the Git master, which you guys don't know what GitHub is yet, but GitHub is a platform to really, it's like save points. You get to save where you've coded, and then you could get back to it really quickly that way.
Nice
And
work.
So,
and
not
it
quite
can
sure
be-
what Anthony said, but
she cannot hear me at all.
that is
How
it
long
for
have
my
we
end
been
for
working
the
on this
demo.
project?
But I'll pass
All
it over
right.
for any closing
I'm going to
remarks.
bring us together. See if we can do that. Thank you so much, you two. I know you both individually can hear me, and only one person can't hear Anthony, the most crucial person, it seems. You did a really, really great job, despite everything, showing a really, really cool product. Nothing was lost in the whole thing, so thank you so much for bearing with the technical issues. I'm really proud of you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
A last thing before we go. Angelina, the one live that can't hear me, she made all the art. She drew every little aspect of the entire thing before like we were able to ship it. And so she did a really good job with that. All right.
Right.
Bye, guys.
Some of the things, bye. Some of the things that really like impress us most about the software that we use isn't just that it's like works well, right? But that it like looks really good. So Angelina like stretching both her technical talents and her artistic talents to form an application is something that you'll have opportunities to do while you're at Make School. Next up, I'm excited to introduce Ninja, who will bring us a React-based COVID-19 wiki, as well as it looks like a Node.js program that could help you manage your Git repositories. So we're going to manage all that code we write using Ninja's program. Welcome, Ninja. Hey, it's good to see you.
I still can't see. Hold up. Trying times. Trying times. And the lens fell out. Wait. Yeah,
Are you
tell-
creating a solution to a glasses problem here?
I wish I
Are
could.
you engineering? It's okay. It's like coding. It'll take like 50 times, but then you'll figure it out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually running through 3 projects. So it looks like we've done a lot on the technical side. So I would like to show like all the background and how we like work as a team at Make School.
Great.
And so,
Take it away, man.
Okay. How do I share the screen? So the first project is one of my proudest projects and the hardest project is Neri. It stands for New Repository, and what it does, it whips out new GitHub repos for you all within the command line. Instead of going github.com/new, all you would have to do is Neri, type in your username, And I love Make School. And then I'll whip up the entire thing just for you. I'll start the git initialize and make a folder for you. And there's a push request to the GitHub API. And then you have I love Make School in my name of repository. So, yeah. And so at Make School, we have like SPD classes. So we mainly focus like, okay, how we need to stage our products to the point where they're baby steps. So we have basic sprints. And so we recognize the MVP, the shortest way to that MVP, and then we fix bugs along the arrow. As you can see, I have a lot of like to-dos in progress and done. All right. And then this is a group project. This is a Corona Wiki. We decided as a team, we were like, okay, there's a lot of misinformation going around, and we want to have just one small site that just tells you what you need to do, all live factual updates, and just the basic progress of the virus. So we've made an entire site that's hosted on AWS, and we make sure to put a live map, live updates, news, and then like just symptoms, preventions, and treatments. And so no one has to like, go on Facebook and see that drinking a sip of green tea will cure all of your remedies and all that jazz. And then I also made a game which was with social impact. So this is Too American, and it's about being an Asian American and always being split with your cultures. And this is made with Unity. And then I guess that's a wrap. Does anyone have any questions?
Nice work, Ninja. Just want to say that Neri, I'm totally going to use that for class, like literally all the time. Like, why didn't I know that about that before now, dude?
Oh, because while testing the project, I deleted the Neri repository. Yeah.
So you wrote a project to manage repositories, and while testing it, you accidentally deleted the repository for your own project.
Yes, with
amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, I have the feels. I've totally been there, man. That's like something that happens to all of us.
All my stars just missing. So Neri is like one of the most complicated projects I worked on. It was made entirely with Shell, so it's like very vague. There's not like any like hardcoded documentation. I knew Danny was working in Shell with some of her projects, so I'll just look at her repo like, oh, okay. And then I was like, this thing is beneficial, yeah. And then so like the thing Neri does is creating, deleting, and updating all your repository information. And I'll drop a link in the chat.
Cool, man. Yeah, great projects. Really prolific. Like one thing I want to call out here is small projects are awesome too. Things that have like little scopes, things that you're passionate about or you know something about or you experience every day. Like the last app that kind of helped you deal with the struggles of having your having one foot in both worlds. That's like an awesome way to get software out to people that might not ever have experienced something that. Really, really cool. All right, last but not least, I have Ariane, who's bringing us an application called 37 Burrows, which is a platform for photographers and travelers and businesses to share photos of their local community in San Francisco. So you can find all the little like gems and little hidden spots and secrets of a city. Specifically, I think this was San Francisco. So I'll let her talk more about it. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Let me just switch this like that I can actually see what I'm looking at. Hi, everyone. My name is Ariana Evans, and there's actually two different projects that I wanted to share with you all today. One is one that's actually been shipped. Shipped means that we created the entire thing from scratch. We thought up of the idea. We built it with different scopes, and then we actually set it out live. So any one of you could see the website right now if you wanted to. And the second website is something that hasn't been shipped yet, but it's something that will hopefully be up and working by the time that all of you come to Make School. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Let's see how I can do this. Share. Clip moment. Okay, hold up. So sorry about that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here is the website about San Francisco. We called it 37 Boroughs, and just a heads up for anyone, if you have too many technical questions to ask, I might not be able to answer all of them because I actually was the project manager for this project. Something that's really cool about Make School is we actually get to build projects in teams, and that means in entire teams. We have so there's sometimes 4 to 5 students in a team, and everyone has different roles. There was a front-end lead, a back-end lead, a designer, a Git master, and I was the project manager. So here's the basis of the website. It has all the different boroughs in San Francisco. Here are some of the most popular ones with some of the coolest pictures. For example, here's Chinatown. When you hover over it, it has these effects. That took so long to do because if anyone knows anything about front-end web, this is made with a grid. Grids are hard. They mess up all the time. When it wasn't working, and for some reason it's not working right now because it didn't fully load, as you can see, these tiny little pictures that aren't fully loaded, that was a huge problem that we had. It's still there, apparently. That's great. Okay, so when you click on it, it loads. Now, once you get to Make School, one thing that you'll learn is that Heroku, which we use to deploy this, is so slow, but it loaded pretty quickly. So when you get to this page for the borough, it has a little bit of information about it. It has some data about the population in those neighborhoods. Fun fact, we used a population API. We had to hunt it down and had to email the people that actually created that data to get it. Now, here are some images. We didn't actually have any images of this neighborhood, so we just put in some mock images in place. And here's the cool part. We put in the Yelp API. So in every single neighborhood, when you click on it, there's actually the links to all the different businesses that are in that area. So for example, in this one, there's this bookstore. There's a lot of different bookstores, a ton of bookstores. Wow, they're all bookstores. There's other businesses, but these are all bookstores for some reason at the moment. So yeah, so those are some examples. And then photos here, there aren't any yet. Here's what the photos component is for. So what happens is people like you or like anyone else can actually contribute photos and images to this website. If you fill in this form with your information, then we as the admin, that means all of our groups, we can actually look at the data and the photos that you sent us. We can see if it's appropriate, because that's one huge thing that happens that you want to make sure is okay when you deploy something live that can share content and share pictures. You want to make sure that if there's people in it, that they are okay and they have given their okay with being in the picture on a live website. And 2, you want to make sure that there isn't anything that's too graphic or that's, you know, bad to see. So those are things that you actually need to worry about when you're deploying the website. So that's why we wanted to make sure that when we got the images, we could look through them, check that everything was okay, and then approve them or not. So yeah, this is the main idea of this website. Now, before I compare the two, I'm going to share with you the second website, this one. It's called Make School Badges. It's something that we're hoping to be able to implement before you get here, before you all get here. We're trying to create badges in a very similar way that other platforms will do. So for example, if any of you know Salesforce and Trailhead, it's something that you get to learn how to code on it. And the better you do and the more challenges you do, you get badges. And these badges are actually encrypted. So not anyone, like you can't just copy paste a picture of this and then put it on your portfolio and then claim that you have the badge, because it's actually encrypted. So, you know, if anyone wants to really check into it, they can see whether or not someone actually got this badge. So that means that since it's like this, you can actually put it on your LinkedIn, you can put it on your Make School portfolio, you can put it places, and recruiters can come and look at it and see what you have been working on. So here are some of the badges. These are some of the art. There's going to be so many more to come. These are just some of the starter ones. Right now we have a lot for GitHub and we have a lot for React and JavaScript. If people don't know what that is, GitHub is kind of how, as a ninja explained, it's basically where you can just put your code online, and React is a front-end and back-end language that helps you, that is very much user interface oriented. So it helps you create very nice, clean websites. This is what this is made with. Now, of course, you can always check. There's only the React ones. Here's all of them. Here's only the GitHub ones. So here's what's very exciting about this for all of you. That means that when you come, hopefully, you will have these badges and you can earn them. I'm actually working with one of the instructors at Make School, and we're working on this together. And so that's why it isn't live. Now, some of the difficulties with that, and yes, we will create a bash badge. We will create many, many badges. Basically, the differences between being shipped and not shipped means that this website, none of you can see it yet. The other website, the 37 Boroughs website, you can all see it. There's a lot of difficulties and a lot of differences that you need to go through to get a website to be able to be shipped. You need to either ship it on a certain platform like Heroku. You also need to make sure that it's up to standard. You need to, you know, if people use it and give you feedback saying that it's not working very well, sorry, repo. If people are telling you that that it's not working very well, you need to go back into the code and fix it. So those are elements that you actually get to experience firsthand when you come to Make School and ship your projects. Danny actually has a class that's completely on that and completely on shipping software. So that's a great opportunity to actually, you know, figure out how to do this yourself. And for anyone who's wondering, no, this is not a normal thing that you would learn at computer science colleges, but this is something that you need to know to be in the industry. Because all of these elements like GitHub, like React, like JavaScript, like, you know, shipping, Heroku, all these different things, these are things that people work on in the industry. We have contacts in many, many different companies. But I even have, thanks to Make School, I have my own personal mentor at Microsoft. And all of these individuals are letting us know that we are on the right path to, you know, being able to be ready and just jump right out into the industry. So it's very, very exciting. Yes, there's many challenges in it. Yes, it can be very frustrating, but it is 100% worth it. And this is coming from someone who, before I came to Make School, I had no coding experience. And when I mean none, I mean none at all. I came in and I learned the basics of Python. And now I'm talking to people from different companies. So It's great. So yeah, so these are my two main projects. If anyone has questions for me or for anyone else, we have a Q&A session coming up. So yeah, thank you so much, Danny, for letting me speak about these.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks. So Q&A next. Hopefully in that very short amount of time where we introduce that in the chat, you maybe have thought of a question for us, or you are watching one of the demonstrations and thought of a question for one of the students, or for me. Feel free to chime in now. It's more fun with questions. I like questions, by the way. As a teacher online, you learn to embrace the silence. We have one question. How big are your group projects? I can answer that one. Typically, our group projects that are assigned in class will be anywhere from a solo programming project to pair programming to build up that skill, which is really heavily utilized in industry. Additionally, we will have even some up to 5 in the SPD projects that actually interact with industry partners. So those ones will have 5-6 people in a team for larger projects. That'll happen your senior year. In your junior year, you will stick with teams of typically less than 3. Great question, by the way. We really do a lot of group work because software is built in a group. Understanding team dynamics is just as much a part of software as being a great programmer, if not more. So we really heavily focus on that in our SPD courses every morning. Are there projects that require people from every track? Yeah, I've definitely found that pragmatically the past 2 years, there are instances where students will have a really great idea and they'll have to ask other students from other tracks for their expertise in implementing that project. This is very typical in the industry where we would often have coworkers that have a particular expertise that we leverage for an algorithm that we're writing or something like that. So we really get used to communicating with people that have other skills or more advanced skills than us on certain topics, as every engineer has. Not all of us are great at everything. Do your group have a good plan to teach? Can you clarify that question a little bit? Like, do we write out our lesson plans? They're actually open source. You can find all of our lesson plans and all of our material on GitHub. I'll let you be the person to decide whether or not those are things you like. However, I like to think that the best part about teaching here is that we continually ask students for feedback, candid feedback in class, feedback that's written down all the time, and we integrate it every 7 weeks into our curriculum that is open source. So not only do you see curriculum there, you see constant and continual improvement from all of us as we iterate on our classes. How are GitHub repos managed, as in who owns the profile? You do. This is like your Facebook, but it's for code. So you own the profile, and everyone can see what you're working on. That's a great question. Keep them coming, folks. Woo, all right. Do these projects get presented in a school-wide expo or in class? Both, absolutely both. Every year we have a demo night where we collect lots and lots of people from the industry and lots of people interested in what y'all are working on, and you'll actually demonstrate it for tons of people during demo night. Additionally, in class, always we are working on our presentation skills, our pitch skills. So you'll have in-class presentations as well. And that's true of all of the tracks. We present just as much in back-end web as you do when you're creating more visual elements in front-end web. We really get used to talking about our code. Since this is an accelerated 2.5-year track, how do you determine freshman, junior, and senior status? If it's your first year, you're a junior, and if it's the rest of the time, you're a senior. Oh man, there's a tab in Crowdcast that is filling up. How do I see that? Oh, it's the Ask a Question button. What's up? Cool. Okay, I'll start from the bottom because that one's probably the last one. Does Make School guide students into settling into a track specialization? We actually, when you come to Make School, you take your first term without deciding on your specialization. That's so you can get experience in a number of different things so you can make a very good and educated choice for yourself about what you want to focus on. So yeah, we give you some experience and guidance on how you can do that. You also work with your coach to determine that based on your interests, your past experience, what you like and don't like, etc. So you actually do get lots and lots of one-on-one meetings with your coach that first 7 weeks, your first term, to really determine if a track is a really good fit for you. Anthony, I don't know if you're asking me if I have any projects I want to show off. I can show off my portfolio later on if you still have time. Are these considered projects considered big projects? I don't like to define projects as big or small. I like to define projects as, did they meet the objective that the person writing the project set out to do? And in all of these cases, they did. So software can be just as effective if it's a small piece of software as it is something that takes 30 people to work on and has millions and millions of lines of code. So while these might be projects that have a shorter duration due to their scope, that would definitely mean that they were able to release them much faster. So big projects move slower. All right. Do we save it live? Like, do we record our lectures? We definitely record them for sure, so that you can kind of go back and reference them. That in conjunction with lesson plans and the software we use to keep track of students, like your current status in a course. All of these things help arm you with all the information you need on a day-to-day basis as a student to know what you're working on and what's expected of you. Do you encourage real-world business applications for your student projects? And do I provide guidance in choosing them? Yes, I'm a career software engineer. I started becoming a teacher just a couple of years ago. So I absolutely guide students toward real-world projects, and every single project in my track is guided by 15 years of consulting and engineering experience in developing over 50 products. So I kind of have a good scope and understanding of what it takes to ramp you up really quickly as a software engineer and very pragmatically, which means, yeah, your projects are 100% real world. They're the same code and code bases that I would write and work in. I teach you the same exact strategies from day one that I use to code and maintain a professional like coding environment even. I definitely provide guidance for those. You can check my calendar. There's lots and lots of one-on-one meetings for students that are working on their projects or are wondering, hey, is this like something I should work on? So I definitely help out with that. And even in the implementation, the architecture of those projects, for sure. That's a great question. You get a lot of that guidance, not just from me, you get that from every single instructor at Make School, all of which have their own expertise in different areas that can really be a huge help. So we have front end and iOS people, all of which who've like worked in the industry and have tons and tons of experience to like help guide those decisions. Hopefully that answers it. Anybody else? All right, so I did have like one last question, so I'll watch the screen while this is like trickling through, but I do have like at least one project I can kind of show you. If you want to connect with me after preview weekend, I'll just show you this project. That's the first link. This is my personal portfolio. I made it after my students at Berkeley made fun of me that I had done so many projects, but I never showed anyone what they were before. So I wanted to do like kind of my own version of a digital resume that was something that kind of showed off a little bit of my personality. So I'll share my screen with you. What do you recommend in becoming a successful software engineer? Resilience and persistence. That's what I recommend. There's not a book or a video or a lecture series or a teacher or a mentor I can recommend. What I can definitely tell you is the one thing that rings true every single day that I code, that I have to keep trying. In fact, I still, at 15 years in, get things wrong like 50, 100 times a day if I'm coding for 8 hours. So I would recommend a lot of persistence. I'd recommend joining a great community to have support so that you can be resilient learning how to program, which is something that I think Make School really offers that's totally unique to just even my experience as a programmer. I was like born to be a programmer, but I had never really found what I would consider my tribe or my people until I came to Make School. And I saw so many people that were excited to do the thing that I am so excited to do every day. Like I program as a hobby. I like come and teach people how to program and then I go home and like I code. So yeah, persistence, always writing the code, things like that. Let me share the screen. Cool. So I'll show you my portfolio real quick. This one is a small project that was written in nothing but vanilla JavaScript and let's see, HTML and CSS. So it's a type of website that we teach you how to make here at Make School. Uses the same exact technology I teach within 7 weeks. So you could actually produce something like this. And this is kind of like the menu of things that I've produced. So tells you a little bit about me, that I like to code in a lot of different languages, tells you all the different like jobs I've had, my patent, where I got my degree in computer science, and a little bit more about like all of the different languages that I know. So it's kind of like a visual representation of my past 15 years. You can kind of scroll down and see like a lot of links to like my projects and kind of see what I was up to for the last forever, and like kind of even drop me a line if you want to. So I've dropped that in chat in case anyone wants to see it, but this is like a nice little visualization, right? That one took a while. Okay. Now that we're done with that, are there any more questions in here? Let me see, ask a question. All right, it seems like we're out of questions. Students, just want to give you like a huge shout out for spending your Saturday afternoon with us. I super appreciate it. Your hard work the past 5 terms really does show. Want you to know that, so I'm super proud of y'all. Everyone else, I'm really happy you joined our showcase today. I really can't wait to see what you can build at Make School. So join us, and you too will be making apps just like this next year. I'll see y'all later, okay?